Welcome, everyone. I am Mr. Midnight Gentleman, and we have Mr. Perspective. And I just want to say this, turn on the camera. Chelsea Football Club was mine before it was yours. Just bear that in mind. Welcome, Mr. Perspective. What do you have to say for this midnight Chelsea gossip?
Midnight Chelsea gossip. So before you come to us, before you come to the real Blues, don't forget, it was mine before it was yours. Next time, be careful. It was mine. It was ours before it was yours.
Indeed, massive.
Indeed, sir. Midnight Gentleman, great to see you, man, with a new style. This is the aura, the vibes, the passion, the enthusiasm, the excitement. A flamboyant man is born winning the World Cup, and that flamboyant man is the man himself, Mr. Midnight Gentleman. So, sir, this is the 5th show. Let me congratulate you. You are on a marathon, the 5th show in what I think 50 hours. So yeah, 5 shows, 50 hours. And this is what happens when you win the World Cup. This is the World Cup marathon. Sir, Chelsea gossip, key takeaways. You have the floor.
Yes, sir. You know, a lot of people don't know how that feels, you know. We're the inaugural Club World Cup champions. Not many people can say that they are the inaugural Club World Cup champions. You know, we did something that nobody else has done before. We're the best first ever Club World Cup champions. And whoever wants to disagree, they can suck balls, man, because we can have this for the next 4 years. We can say we are the best in the world. So don't worry about it, man. And this, as we said, we are serious about this. We're going to gossip. We're going to talk all the Chelsea gossip. We're going to talk about Todd Boehly telling Maresca that he doesn't need to win the Premier League. We're going to discuss the fact that we have the likes of Hato or Hato, whatever the hell his name is, who's perhaps going to come to Chelsea. We're going to talk about the fact that Cole Palmer is now the face of EAFC football, the big virtual game that you can play manager mode on, career mode, whatever the thing that suits you. We're going to gossip about, and we're going to have the key takeaways from all this. Was this the smartest thing to do? Was Todd Boehly giving Maresca that leeway that, oh, you don't need to win the league next season, if it was actually the case? So, Mr. Perspective, what do you have to say about the first thing that I've mentioned, which is that we are the first best ever Club World Cup champions? Over to you, sir.
Yes, we are the first, we are the last. You know, even with a young squad, with an inexperienced manager who I have to give the perspective, who is learning on the job, yet he won the World Cup. So all power to him, all flowers to Enzo Maresca. Teams with established managers like Luis Enrique, managers who won Bundesliga 2 years ago, against ours, Thomas Tuchel, Xabi Alonso, and many greats in the whole world, coming from all over the world with a lot of noise. Vincent Kompany, who is in the industry longer than Maresca, who was the captain of Man City, who was playing recently and learning as the captain with Guardiola managing Bayern Munich, who definitely on paper is difficult, someone would disagree, have a better squad than Chelsea. They have filled all the key areas. They hijacked one of the best forwards ever, although he played for Tottenham, but we can't take away from that him and Sergio Aguero in the last 10, 15 years have been the two best forwards in the Premier League. They hijacked to Kane. They took Musiala from Chelsea. They are like, you want to go from Olis? No, we'll pay more money, we'll get Michael Olis. But nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. They didn't even wait to face us. If anything, they were so afraid, Mr. Midnight Gentleman. They were so afraid of Chelsea. And I'm not saying it now. You're there, you're the witness, right? You remember when they lost to Benfica? What did I say to you back then? I said they played a BS side, rotated, so they wanted to avoid Chelsea in the round of 16. Didn't I say that, Mr. Midnight Gentleman? So it's
Of
not our
course.
fault that Bayern Munich didn't face her, they didn't defeat Benfica. It's the other way around because they didn't want to face the likes of an hungry Chelsea. So we won the World Cup. We won the World Cup with a young squad. We won the World Cup with an inexperienced manager who still needs to prove a lot, in my opinion. He has done the bare minimum last season, but he ended up with the huge accomplishment of winning the World Cup. The question mark is this sustainable? Because we want more. We have blood on our on our mouth, like lion, like sharks. If we have tasted a trophy, that's not the end. The whole question, the key takeaways, the midnight gossip, Chelsea, is all about, is this one off? Is it like Arteta's FA Cup and then nothing happened in the next 3 years, 4 years? We don't want that. We want progress. We want to say to the world, I want to announce to the world that Maresca is for real. Enzo Maresca is an elite manager. We can talk about Enzo Maresca with the likes of a Jose Mourinho and my favorite, Sir Antonio Conte, who says, win.
Woo!
If you don't want to win, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me if you don't want to win. And that is why I'm a huge fan of Sir Antonio Conte. So, sir, and you hit on the fact that the message that we received earlier on in the stream to make to talk and give the perspective, the insights that Maresca will not be under pressure, and that is fine. You don't want your manager who won the World Cup, to be roasted, and he can't even sleep well at night and can't even have good food and meet his friends. You want to give him that freedom, but at the same time, you don't want to say it because, sir, you have won the World Cup. Next year is a free run as long as you can finish top four and give us the UCL money. No, that's not a good message. You want to say it to Enzo Maresca. Enzo Maresca, this is my message for you, sir. I absolutely love you for the game that you played against PSG. You made me proud. You made me proud. I saw the game. I saw and studied you, and I think I'm one of your best students. I should at least be in contention in nomination as the student of Enzo Maresca. You had one of the best game plans that I have seen in the last decade. So next year, win or not, but you should go for the win. 38 games, you have to win 38 games. In the end, at the end of the season, if you win 28 games, fine, no problem. 38 games, go for the 38 wins. Get us 114 points. That should be the aim. If you end up getting 89 points, no problem. As long as we know, the Chelsea diehards, that you went for those 114 points, that is fine. You can finish second, you can finish third, but you go for that, you prepare for that, and you live and breathe for those 114 points. Why not? 38 games, 38 wins. You played against PSG, you came up with the plan, you can do that, sir. That should aim. That should be the ultimate aim. Finish second, third, fourth, no problem. as long as everything is about winning those 38 games in a row. So that would be my message to Sir Enzo Maresca, Mr. Midnight Gentleman.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. Shadow, you're here again. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is what you called a new profound supporter. Much appreciation to you, and I hope you enjoy this Midnight Chelsea gossip. I'm taking it you from some part in Africa, so I know that it's very late for you, but the fact that you've taken the time to join us yet again for yet another show, because you were here the entire stream that we did approximately 2 hours ago. So thank you very much for your support. But yes, as you rightfully said, give Maresca the time to just breathe. Don't cram his head with say, oh, you need to do this, and if you don't do this, then we're gonna sack you. You can't do that because you can't be too greedy. That's what they're saying. You can't be too greedy. But we know that Maresca. I said it on X. I said I love you, Maresca. The receipts are on X. I said I love you, Enzo Maresca. No, it's time to prove that you're not a cup manager, because he has to prove that. Yes, we've won the Club World Cup. We are the best first ever Club World Cup champions. But we can't get ahead of ourselves. We have to remember that we have to see what is next in the league. And this is not me being sarcastic. I'm serious. We have to see what we can do. We got top 4. We got 69 points. I don't like the number 69 for obvious reasons, but that is just the case. Yeah, man, listen, I understand. Yeah, Shadow, you're from South Africa. Okay, wonderful. I love having South African supporters, man. I always appreciate that. Thank you very much. And forget about Nightbot, man. I'm gonna ban Nightbot. You said something nice, and he just deleted the message. Disrespectful. But anyways, man, going back to this, with Enzo Maresca, he has to prove that he's not a cup manager, because he's won 2 cups. A competition where you didn't have to face off against the other teams. You didn't have to be in the league. You must face off against them. So, I mean, we have to be honest. I know a lot of people won't like this, but it's the truth. And that's what I'm saying. Don't get ahead of yourself. We can be happy. We can be proud, because the young team did it. We were not given any chance. But we have to remember that Maresca has proven that he can win something. That is something that Pochettino was not able to do. Something that Lampard was not able to do. Graham Potter couldn't do it.
Facts.
So he's better than them. He's better than them. But
facts.
Yeah. And as you said, the last manager, an Italian manager, won us the Premier League almost a decade ago, 8 years ago. So we must see another Italian win it, so that we can know that Italians are the best thing to happen to Chelsea Football Club, because we know Italians have a rich history at this football club. So we have to.
You know what? Sorry, you go ahead, Mr. Midnight Gentleman. I just wanted to put something, because it's all about the perspective. It's all about the key takeaways, the gossip. I'm sure I'll give you some ignition. I want the tactics of Enzo Maresca, but the mentality of Antonio Conte. If Enzo Maresca can have the mentality of Antonio Conte, we could be the best team ever. So please, what do you have to say on that? And go on. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, man. Yes. But before I continue, there's 5 people watching right now. We only have 2 likes. What is going on, man? Slap up the like button, man. It's free. It takes you just 2 seconds to like. And if you're a new subscriber as well, it takes you 2 seconds to subscribe. And it may take you another minute, or not minute, second. Take another second to hit that bell, so you can be notified when we have these type of shows, man. Midnight takeaways, midnight Chelsea gossips, the key takeaway show. But as I said, man, Maresca, flowers to you. You're not even in the picture. I'm sure right now that's a massive disrespect from me. But of course, we have the captain in Reece James. We have Lavia, who's injured most of the time, but that doesn't matter, because he was here to show up to touch that trophy. Sanchez, the bald head man on that right hand side, that he turned into prime Edison and Karius and all those persons, man. He's. I have to applaud him. But as I said, as the best first ever Club World Cup champions, we have to not let the ball drop. We can't stop. We have to continuously go and go and go and go. It's a pitch that they don't have another competition for us to play. The winners of the Club World Cup faces off against, I don't know. I don't like I don't know, the Premier League champions or you don't know. You put all the winners of their respective leagues in a little preseason S competition, and they have to face off so we can win on third trophy, because we are the first best ever Club World Cup champions. Nobody can take that away from us. We're edged in history, and that is what hurts the rival fans, the neutral fans, the haters, because they know that we'll be insufferable for the next 4 years. We can say, oh, when they say that, look at what Chelsea do, we say, but we're the world champions. We're the world champions. We don't care. We're the world champions. We won the trophy. And you may say we have the easiest route, but who cares, man? It's not our fault. It's not our fault that we got Benfica, we got Palmeiras, we got Fluminense, and we had to face PSG. It's not our fault. We did our part, but the other teams did not. That's the truth. Come on, man. 11 people are watching right now, and there's only 3 likes. What is going on, man? Don't upset me, people. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. We can do better than this. I'm disappointed. I'm devoting time. This is valuable time. I could be doing something else, and you're not even making me feel appreciated. I don't like this. 3 likes. Nah, man. YouTube is taking the piss. Taking the mick. Nah, man. I'm serious now, man. But yeah, what do you have to say about the next thing? Cole Palmer proving that, he is not just icy, but he's also spicy at what he does. What do you have to say, man? Look at this, man. Look at that. Even it's like they say, you can't beat them, get them. That is what these PSG owners are saying, man. You can't beat them, get them. Look at that. 250. Can you believe it? 250 million euros bid for Cole Palmer. Oh, listen, man. They're preparing an ambitious bid.
These are from credible sources also, also in UK newspaper that I just saw recently. I don't know if it will pick fire or not, but I won't be surprised if they'll go for him. At least they will try, Tyrone.
Yeah, man, you can't fault them. At least try. If you can't do anything else, just try.
250 million? Oh my days, man.
Yeah, man, but I don't know if I trust that source, man. It's fish and chips. Fish and chips.
And that is why we are having this gossip over here and trying to make a rational and objective analysis.
Yeah. Fish and chips is a source, though. That's the only thing.
Rather than fish and chips being the headlines of some shows for 3 hours discussion, we won't do that over here. So, but that's the thing. They won't mind getting Cole Palmer, right? They'll say 250, 300 million, no problem. But my message to this guy over here who don't know football is that the only time you got it right is when you got a proper team. And of course, Cole Palmer is a proper player. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you don't need to even if it's a player as good as Palmer, you don't need to invest that much money. What's best for PSG is if you have that much money, first of all, donate 10 to 20% in charity. Secondly, if you still want to invest, buy 4 to 5 players. If you want to, first of all, the squad is ready. If you want to add more key areas, discuss with Enrique, add 3, 4, 5 players using this money. Don't go for one player. Even if it's Palmer, Yamal, don't go for them. Not worth it. Go make the team as you are making it. You're doing a good job. So that's my advice for you, Mr. President. What do you have to say on that, Tyrone?
Yes, man. There's nothing else he can do but do that. But I find it stupid that they really think that 250 million is enough for him. I was expecting like a billion, like a 1 billion, offer, because they're rich people. They're rich people, so it's not like they can't afford it. But hey, man, I guess you have to test the water before you dive right in, right? So, I'm still disappointed that's what they decided to disrespect us. 250 million because it's an ice cold play. Man, you're taking the piss. Taking the piss. But not. But hey, at least they taking the piss. But the audience is taking a worse piss because we still have 3 likes, and I don't get it. We have more people watching than likes. I don't get this. I don't know, man. Come on, it just takes you a few
Come on, guys,
seconds.
like and subscribe. Although it's a midnight stream, we are all tired. You guys are most probably watching from different parts of the world. Not everywhere is midnight, right? And even if it's midnight or 3 a.m. or 1 a.m., it takes a second. It just takes an effort to click or type or hit that button, for a second, so we can do more midnight streams.
Indeed,
So,
indeed.
Tyrone, Mr. Midnight Gentleman, key takeaway from winning the World Cup. The only disadvantage, or how did we put it? What was that? What was that of finishing the top four? I'm forgetting that. Do you remember the title?
The title,
There was a show on finishing the top four.
mm, right? The hidden cost of
The
it all.
hidden cost. Sorry, I should have remembered that. The only hidden cost of winning the World Cup is that we'll be tired.
Mm,
We'll be tired, and I'm repeating this, and I'll keep on repeating this till the start of the season. The most important key takeaway, I would say, is that we'll be tired.
hmm
We'll be tired, and this is the most significant part. We can talk about, or other channels can talk about, all the transfers and rumors and Enzo Maresca and XYZ, João Pedro, signing Rodrygo or Haaland or Mbappe, or winning the Champions League. The point is, in all seriousness, Mr. Gentleman, and all the beautiful ladies and gentlemen in the chat, the problem that we'll face is that we've played one, two, three, four, five, six, seven games in the World Cup. There are two things for people to understand. That's why we're giving the perspective that you don't get in other networks. People are like, what if we played 7 games? Other teams maybe played 6 games who played the semifinal. Some teams played the 5 games who played the quarterfinal. Even the teams that got knocked out played 3 games. So we played a little bit more. No. Please try to understand that Chelsea and Man City were the only two representative of from England. So from England, only we, and this we is the infamous we, Mr. Gentleman, is only this we is not 20 teams in the Premier League, right, Tyrone? This we is only Man City and Chelsea. Only Man City and Chelsea played, and City played what, 4 games before they got eliminated? Chelsea played 7. In other words, if you're not getting my point, Liverpool played 0 game, Arsenal played 0 game, Newcastle played 0 games like other teams. What it means? What it means is that they have better recovery, they had better rest, which is essential after the full season. We did not get it. We played for 5 weeks in the hottest weather, in the most difficult conditions, and with uneven pitch, you know, turf with mud was coming out, not in every game, but there were some instances when the pitch was not even, when the grass, which was difficult, sometimes it takes a toll. It feels like you have played 2 games when the pitch is uneven, right, Tyrone? It feels that you there is an extra strain on your calf, on your muscles, on your groin, and these are key things. It's not a theory, right, Tyrone? You can correct me if I'm wrong. This is very, very, very serious, and it will play its part. So, unfortunately, I think it will play its part because there is on no way on earth that Chelsea will find a way with modern medicine and technology to make a recovery. The season that starts from August, that will end in May. Unfortunately, Tyrone, I am concerned and worried. I'm not saying it because of that our season will be terrible. I'm not saying that, but I don't think so. We'll be able to meet our objectives because we will be drained. We will. we will be injured. Some of the players will be injury prone, and especially after Christmas. In my analysis, in my opinion, 23 years in football, unfortunately, but I have to speak the truth. Sometimes truth hurts. I think it will show. It will show, Tyrone. This is my opinion, sir. This is a key takeaway for me, sir.
And that is the problem. That is the problem. And perhaps we can go back to what we said earlier. Maybe this is why, Todd Boehly said that, oh no, the expectation is not to challenge for the league because he knows that in our quest to prove that we are the best in the world, we have put ourselves into a situation where we're now suffering this hidden cost of winning the Club World Cup by going into the new season very tired, very drained, very prone to injury, very much possible, to find ourselves being drained and exhausted in a competition where if it was better scheduled and maybe if it was closer, to the end of the season, it probably would have been better. But no, it had to be no, and it's like what was said earlier. This is the new Super League. This is why UEFA and nobody were upset because they had this plan that they would put the players of all the teams that have to participate in it in this edition, this staging of it, to go in with a disadvantage for those who win it and who go to the finals. They'd have to go into the league and try to weaken their chances. There's no surprise. Maybe this is why they had it in America because they know that the weather would restrict certain people from being able to get you know a very good opportunity at winning the league. They saw that Chelsea were developing momentum, and they say, you know what, let us put the situation like this. Let us put it in the hottest of places. Let us put it in a stadium where within 30 minutes of the match be kicked off, the stadium has run out of water. That is the situation that they put the players through. It's so inhumane. That's how disgraceful they are as an entity. But we know that that's just how life is. That's just it. That's just it. I don't know. I don't even know who the hell that this person is that just got gifted a membership. But thank you, Poggy. Sarcasm Ranger. I've never heard of Sarcasm Ranger before. Um, but okay, Chris, big up to you. I don't know where you are in the world right now, but you've been just gifted a membership. So thank you very much, Poggy, for that wonderful donation. It'll be going a long way. It would be lovely for me to have you on the show one of these days, Poggy, because you're just hiding behind that P icon and just donating. But man, I don't know what's going on. But Poggy, thank you. As I said, I would love to see you come on the channel one of these days because you're just donating, but I don't know who's behind all of this. It's so strange. Not even El Grande Americanos is such a mystery as you are, Poggy.
Yes, thank you to Pogi for another donation and for supporting the channel. It means a lot. And please like, subscribe. I'm sure you have, Pogi. I'm sure, and please share it, Pogi. I'm sure you can help share it with your family and friends and everyone. Please like the stream, get involved in the chat. Give your opinion, give your key takeaways, and enjoy the show, enjoy the perspective, enjoy the analysis like you don't see anywhere else in the Chelsea community.
Indeed. Indeed. Big up to you, GFC Govern. No, I'm not doing it right. I have to do it like this. GFC Govern! Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining, GFC Govern. Thank you very much for joining.
Yes, Tyrone. Big up, Tyrone. Big up, DJ. Big up, DJ, sir.
Big up, 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 DJ Sam.
So, DJ, what do you have to say? Like, we discuss a key takeaway, the hidden cost of winning the World Cup. Tyrone, could you go and maybe break it down if you don't mind? Midnight Gentlemen, are you there?
Listen, DJ. Listen, DJ. If you wanna come on, I can send the link, DJ.
Yes, Midnight Gentlemen, go ahead. Are you there, Mr. Midnight? Yes, so sorry about this mini break. Mini break was not planned. Apologize for that. Tyrone will be back as well. So yeah, that is the one key takeaway. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think. We'll be fatigued. We'll be tired for obvious reasons. We will be tired. We played 7 games. Not only that, I repeat, we were there for 5 weeks. We trained, we suffered, we were in the heat, we played in the most difficult pitch, uneven turf, the mud coming out, the grass. I mean, the running, it wasn't as smooth as you're playing in Europe, where you run like the toll it takes on your knees, on the calf, on the ankle. I don't have the precise, you know, discrete number or the percentile, but it would definitely be more like it puts more strain. It's like if you play a game in US, just a rough estimate, you play a 90-minute game in US is equivalent to playing a one and a half game, or you can say a 1 hour 30 or 1 hour 35-minute game in Europe. So in other words, we didn't play 7 games, we played 10 games. We played 10 games if we had played in England or in Europe. We played 10 games in US. We played for 5 weeks. We trained. We played in the heat. We'll come back. We will have 15 days at best recovery time. We'll get back in the training. Get back in to run, get back to the gym. We'll play two preseason friendlies against, I believe, AC Milan and by Leverkusen, and then the league will start. The league will start game after game after game. Champions League, new format from last season. More games. Carabao Cup, FA Cup. If we have a deeper run, which we want, more games, more games. Champions League deep run, more games. Where is the recovery? The question is, where is the recovery? Can someone tell me where is the recovery? How will we recover? We are human beings. The player are human beings. How, have you seen in the past a team performing at the highest level without recovery 2 seasons in a row? That is why this is the key takeaway, which many channels, many analysts won't tell you, that right now it's not important about how good Enzo Maresca is, or of course it's important to talk about the transfers and to improve the squad. But the fact of the matter remains that with the long season ahead and with no recovery, unfortunately, most likely we will take a toll. Our team will suffer. We will discover, we will see the lack of physicality in terms of stamina, in terms of lack of recovery, playing a lot of games, and and if we are in the Champions League, to what extent can even Enzo Maresca shuffle the squad, right? To what extent? This is the question mark. So I'm sure he will be doing all those things, and he will be doing a great job at that. But at the end of the day, it will be extremely difficult to maintain the fitness and to perform at the highest level week in, week out, playing 3 games a week over the next 10 months. So that is where I believe other teams like Arsenal and Liverpool, will have the edge, who were not a part of this Summer World Cup. So sorry again about the delay. Some technical and some other issues back end. Apologize for that. So please like, subscribe, share your views. What do you think on this key takeaway? The hidden cost of winning the World Cup? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, unfortunately, there are some things that are out of our control, so we can only apologize for that. Okay, so yeah, so other takeaways. Please like the stream. Other key takeaways as we discuss, or as I discuss at this very second. The other takeaway is that Enzo Maresca, as a lot of people said, does not have a plan B, but he has shown that he has a plan B. He has more than a plan B. He has a plan C. He has a plan D, right? He has a plan D and E, I would say. So that is answer. This is another key takeaway. This is another key takeaway. This is another key takeaway, that he has shown he is proactive. He can work around different Systems, he is trying to figure out a different formation, which was the 4-2-2, and we can see like he play a hybrid team during a game, can high press and at the same time can be very pragmatic, right? And so and he's trying to give more freedom to Palmer, and that's, I hope that is the case moving forward. So this is not a huge concern at the moment, and I hope this will also reflect in the Premier League. At the same time, tactics. Uh, the question will still remain on the tactics. You can be a great chess player. You may know many different systems, but at the end of the day, you would still need to identify that what would be the best way playing to make sure that you can get the maximum points in a long 38 game Premier League season. Personally, I do have question mark. I still have question mark in the way he plays, the classic Italian way. You know, which is good, but I still think it's not the best way if you want to win the Premier League. And I hope I'm wrong. So I think we need to be more fluid, is what I'm saying. We need to press more. There was lack of pressing last season. I know it was PSG. It was a very well calculated plan to do that against them. Can we do it week in, week out? Will we do it week in, week out? What will be the approach? Will be more pragmatic like last season. I think it was a lot pragmatic last season. It worked to get a top four, but I think we would need to be more on the front foot. We need to score more goals. So it will be interesting to see what the pattern will be, what will be the final shape, the formation, the plan with João Pedro over there, with Cole Palmer showing that he is perhaps the best player in England, if not in the world. I would like Chelsea to be more attacking. We've seen against PSG, we have seen in other games when we attack. So last season, what we have seen is when Chelsea scored a goal, they would just defend and they would take a lot of time, back passes, side passes, try to secure and be safe. And the whole philosophy would be if we score the second, it's fine. If we don't score, that's fine too. So I personally disagree with that. This can only take you to a this will only take you long. This will take you to a certain level, right? It will take you further, maybe a fourth finish, a third finish. But if you want to win the league, if you want to getting 3 points after 3 points, at the end of the day, you will have to win more games. And for that, you will be taking risks because it's not easy to get 1-0s or 2-1s week in and week out, is what I'm saying. So this is the key area. How will that be addressed, right? Will he be more hybrid in terms of different formations or different tactics in different games in the Premier League? Will he really try to like be more quick in transition and also be more quick having the ball, which was not the case last season? So I think these things needs to be addressed and answered in the Premier League, the big one, the English Premier League. Another key takeaway is that we have signed Jalab, we have signed João Pedro, right? So the question that we were creating a lot of chances in the last two seasons and we were not scoring goals, hopefully should be answered. This should not be a problem with João Pedro showing his worth, scoring 3 goals in 2 matches, showing all the attributes, the quality of a top clinical finisher. Cole Palmer, if given more freedom, can be absolutely devastating on the right. You know, Delap, showed his quality, of course, throughout this World Cup, and of course in the final he could have scored two, especially that one big stop that Donnarumma made. So we have these players. Nato, don't forget Nato. So the forward four, if you want to say, is very strong. Another key takeaway would be like Reece James playing in the midfield, playing as an inverted right back. There are a lot of questions, right? So we have seen it worked in some games, it did not work in other games. So two things. Would you want to play Reece James as a traditional right back throughout the season? Or will it be more on the circumstances? For me, I'm happy if it's on the circumstances, no problem. Because it's football is ever changing, it's evolving, there are different oppositions, you require different methodologies. So I'm fine if Reece James is playing in the midfield, but I think he has to cleverly pick and choose. I don't want a lot of testing and trial in that regard. A lot of testing and trial in that regard. Malagusto's situation is interesting, like he's been linked. I don't know how true it is. It's difficult to say. Um, uh, I don't know how true it is, so I hope he'll be here. And a lot of Chelsea fans are hopeful that he won't contemplate taking even like taking the opportunity to join Bayern Munich. So yeah, just give me a second. Yeah. So takeaway, another key takeaway would be that Enzo Maresca's willingness, at least in the World Cup, to be more on the front foot, you know, taking more chances. This is a question mark that has been in football for 2 centuries at least. Like, should we go forward? If we go forward, is that the best way? Is defense the best way? Defense is the best way of attack, or attack is the best way of defense. There are different school of thought. Some say, okay, Luis Enrique, Klopp, Flick way is the best. Some would say Mourinho way is the best. Some would say Enzo Maresca's ways, which is different, is the best. Which is the best way to go about it? I think Enzo Maresca, as he's evolving, he would need to evolve. He would need to evolve because without risk, you won't get the reward in the Premier League. At least in my personal opinion. I'm not saying take the risk like Hansi Flick, but you need to be brave. You will have to be on the front foot if you have to go for the league. You will have to be on the front foot. You will need to be brave. Enzo Maresca's system is so good for the cup, I would say, as is shown in the World Cup, even in the Conference League. Although, of course, the competition wasn't really there, but in the World Cup, we have shown even his system. He can really like you don't need to like go and win. Remember to win the cup. Either it's the Champions League, the FA Cup, Club World Cup. You don't really have to win the game. What is the most important thing to win a tournament? Don't lose the game. So Enzo Maresca approach is, I think it's tested way, old, tested, tried, and successful way of winning the cup competition. And especially given the fact that with his structured defensive approach with great shape, taking all the time, the positional play, if we can add that pressing element against the teams which we need to press, and if have the plays which we know we have the plays to press, this will be unbelievable. This will be another level. So, as many questions that people have, and rightly so. And it's so sad to see that Chelsea fan base keep fighting. A lot of fans did not accept Maresca when he signed. And I think the people who raised question when Enzo Maresca was signed, they had great reason behind it because it was an unconventional signing. So nothing wrong with that. People who supported him from the first day, I'll say all power to them, or they believed in him, let's put it this way. But the thing is, there's no point to go back and forth in the fan base. That's another message to the fan base as a whole. To be together, you can have your own views. But at the end of the day, if you see something is improving, then at least acknowledge that. Or if you see, on the other hand, if you are, let's say, you believe everything is right, and if everything is not right, I would say at least acknowledge that as well. Don't say everything is right if we, let's say, have a bad season, and I hope it won't be the case. Don't say everything is right. So what? This is also for me as well. This is for all the Chelsea fans, that we can have our opinion, but at the end of the day, we should call what we see. So Tyrone, welcome back, man. Hope everything is well at your end.
I mean, yeah, but this is one thing that you've been discussing this for a while now, and there's just something else. There's just one thing that I just believe that needs to be mentioned, and it's just this: that if a person gets something wrong, if a Chelsea fan gets something wrong, they were wrong about Maresca, fine. Say that, okay, I was wrong. But why is it that you have to castigate them? You have to persecute them. It's like they're on death row. Why? Why is it that they have to pay for their wrongness? That's not a word, but you get my point. That, oh, you were wrong, so I'm gonna cook you. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. So what? You get it wrong, fine. And it's like we said earlier on a different show, and what we said even yesterday. You have the likes of Gary Neville, you have Jimmy Carragher, that are wrong about everything. If they've been right about anything, then I applaud them. But they get everything so wrong, and they get called upon CBS Sports. Jimmy Carragher is on CBS Sports with Michael Richards and Thierry Henry, but they still invite him back, although he speaks a lot of nonsense. So what? Do you see them coming out issuing apologies that, oh, I was wrong about this, and they don't need to say it. That is why life is the way it is, because people can be wrong and we're able to just progress past it. It shouldn't be a case of, oh, I love when people prove that they say that they're wrong, and so what? That sounds like you have an issue. You have a psychological issue where you like to see when people get wrong and they have to say, I was wrong. What? Random, man, random as hell.
Yes, Tyrone, that's true. So, any other key takeaway, Tyrone? I've been speaking for a while, and what do you have to say on some of the things that I was sharing, on some key takeaways? And do you agree? Where do you disagree?
Malaguso should not leave the club. And the fact that Chelsea are even entertaining it makes me feel sick, because he's a player. Not even him. The fact that even Gusto is even acknowledging it is disgraceful, because you can actually prove yourself next season, and you want to leave and go to a different league where you have to start all over again, and there's no guarantee that he's going to even start there. It'd be nice, but there's no guarantee he's going to start. There's no guarantee he's going to start. So I mean, that is the strangest part for me. But with Gusto, I'm happy that he's trying to prove all those idiots that I saw online, saying that he needs to be sold, and, oh, he's not good enough, and why is he starting the final? Shut up, because you guys don't know football. 'Cause if you knew football, you would know that Malaguso has all the potential to improve, and he's going to be one of the best players. You can clip this if you want. There's 6 people watching right now. You can clip this. Malaguso is going to have a very successful career. That is what I'm going to say, because the quality is there. Not because he's made a couple of mistakes or he may have been beaten one on one means that's the end. That's the end for him. Nuno Mendes is one of the best left backs currently, and he got done by Malagusto. That is supposed to tell you everything that you need to know, that players can have off games, and that is proof to you that they're human beings. So the fact that you have all those fans that are disrespecting Malagusto, and I haven't seen anybody apologize, or they've not apologized officially. They're like, oh, ensure that you do it long term. But if we say that, go prove, Maresca, go prove that you're not a cup manager, you get attacked. Oh, yeah, oh yeah, I'm gonna cook you. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Rubbish, man. Rubbish. Garbage. Ridiculous. It's disgraceful, man. And Sanchez, and I've already said it. Sanchez turned to prime Petr. He became Buffon. He became Courtois. He became everything in that final. The way he was passing the ball was delicious, man. And speaking about Courtois, I'm absolutely gutted that Mike Penders has gone to Strasbourg, man. It's very disappointing because I do believe that we should have given him a chance, to be amongst the team. And it's worrying me. It's like I said, we sent Courtois to Spain and he fell in love with Real Madrid. Facing off against Real Madrid and then getting battered while he was at Atletico Madrid. There, I mean, we could see the same thing happening. He could go to France and fall in love with PSG, So I don't like that. I generally don't like that. It scares the living hell out of me. But he's a very good goalkeeper. He's tall like Courtois. He's the exact same height as Courtois. Same club, same city in Belgium. That's they're from. So he's literally the next Courtois. Literally, if he can continue to develop the way that he's developing. So I'm gutted that he's gone to Strasbourg. It means that he can get good game time because Strasbourg definitely need a goalkeeper after, Petrovic ended up going to Bournemouth. Was it Bournemouth? Where did he go to Bournemouth? I don't know. I don't know where Petrovic ended up. That's so many goalkeepers that we've had that I've lost count. I know that Lucas Bergstrom is gone. So, at the end of the day, like I'm just pissed. I'm just pissed, and I just hope he gets the chance to prove himself in France, and then hopefully we can see him come back next season because he's quality. He's a quality player and he deserves it. So hopefully we see that happen. I have to thank at least this shows that the stream is actually making sense to people because 2 people have subscribed since we've gone live. So I'm grateful for each and every one of you who have decided to drop by and to leave a like. Much appreciation to you.
Definitely, if you talk sense and talk sincerely and rationally and have a sincere and objective perspective, then I'm sure people would like the show.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's just the truth, That's the truth. As God would say, that's the truth that God loves, So,
Tyrone, go ahead. And the key takeaway will still be like, man, I think we'll be tired, and I strongly believe that.
Yeah, that's the biggest hidden. That's the biggest key takeaway, and that's the hidden cost of winning this Club World Cup. It's good to be the first best ever, team to do it, but at the same time we're putting ourselves at risk of being very tired. We're going to have a disadvantage, and even the Premier League don't want to even show us any mercy. They don't want to help us, try to recuperate before we play Crystal Palace as the first game of the season. They don't want to show that mercy to us. They're saying it's not our fault you played and you won the Club World Cup. So they're disrespecting the world champions, man. The world champions, it's like John Cena, they're disrespecting the undisputed champion. It's disgraceful, man. Embarrassment, and they don't deserve it, man. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve. If it was a way for Chelsea to go and compete in a different league, I would say go compete in a different league. Because at the end of the day, how can you want, the world champions to struggle, to suffer, to have a disadvantage? Eh? How do you know that we were not going to win the league next season? No, we can't, because we're going to be playing while the players are going to have preseason matches. They played in the heat.
Yeah, it will be difficult, man. It will be very difficult.
Nah, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. We've been streaming for so long. We have 3 likes alone. Come on, what's going on, man? Stop pissing me off, people, man. You need to subscribe and be liking. What's going on, man? 6 people watching and we're still at 3 likes. Nah, man. You're taking the piss.
So what do you have to say on that? That Enzo Maresca has shown that he do have a plan B and a C and a D if required.
I don't know about C and D, but he definitely has a plan B. That's all I can say.
Maybe it gave him too many flowers too soon, I guess.
He has a plan B, that's true. And maybe it was plan A. It could be plan A. It was a plan. It probably was plan A. Plan A. I'd say because I don't see anything differently from what he has done since he's been in management. He's always done that. He's always lined up his team in a way where we see a 5 at the back defensive structure. We already did that show. You can go and subscribe and watch that video as well. So, and you can come back here as well. We did a whole in-depth key takeaway tactical analysis. We spoke about the structure. I even displayed how PSG got obliterated by Chelsea Football Club. the club World Cup champions, the best in the world. No other club has done it but Chelsea. Look at that. Look at Joao Pedro. Can you imagine? You come in for 3 games, and just like that, you've won a trophy. Huh? He's been at Watford. He's been at Brighton for how long? And 3 games. That must be a record. 3 games, and you're already a champion. Oh, come on, man! World champion after 3 games. Ah, man. Applause to him. I have to applaud him, man. There has to be a record. I have to check it. Man. 3 games and you're already a champion. Let's look at what Enzo Maresca had to say here.
Yeah, that was after the. So let me give the context. Context matters. This is not today, of course. This is after the LFC win, and why we are sharing. Of course, we have reason. We don't do things randomly out of nowhere. We take great pride in that. We can be right or wrong, but we do try our best, at least, right? Our very best to be rational. So I think the environment, he said after the LFC win, was a bit strange. The stadium was almost empty, not full. Enzo Maresca speaks out on almost empty stadium for Club World Cup win over LAFC. So this is one of the instances. So a key takeaway or message or request to our gaffer, Enzo Maresca, sir. Honestly, you're doing a great job on the pitch. I would say I'm not a huge fan of your talks because you say things. It's not one-off, right, Tyrone? And you can give your opinion, man. You don't have to agree with me, and you don't agree with me. I know that. But the thing is that he should avoid. This is one instance. If we can collect, there will be at least 20 instances throughout the season. Talking about Brazilian teams playing less games, them playing more games, saying top 4 is not a requirement, and then saying something else at the end of the season. And I do agree with one of the discussion I saw yesterday on Sky that they were like in December Chelsea were in the title race, but he was like, no, we are not in the title race. And he said, okay, maybe we can understand for that time, but he said now the message, if there is ever a question to Enzo Maresca, or if there is anything, if Chelsea by Christmas, November, or 2nd or 1st, whatever, and if it's asked, are you in a title race? They said if Enzo Maresca will still say, no, we are not, then it's not a good message. So anyways, and many other things. So my message or a takeaway, because this is from the World Cup, and again, another example I gave him talking about the Brazilian clubs playing less when the reporter got it right. He don't need to get involved with all of this. If he's a good technical manager, talk football, stay away from these things. It won't help. Sometimes it can really bite us back, I mean, this won't help Tyrone, seriously. This may not be the most important takeaway, but this is one small takeaway. What do you have to say on that?
I agree. I think the key take. The thing is, I don't like when Maresca whines like a bitch. You know what I'm talking about? Because yeah, the stadium was empty. Yeah, whatever. And I spoke about it earlier. The temperature, the climate was so hot. You're telling me that as much as I love Chelsea. If I was in the US, I would have probably gone to a match. But still, like it was very hot. To hydrate yourself, and then the water would be finishing in about 30 minutes of the game. Now I'm not gonna be going to a very hot stadium with a whole bunch of people that I don't know. Come on, man, no. I would love to see Chelsea play, but not under those conditions, man. So you complain and whine, oh, the stadium was empty. But hey, he's not talking about empty stadiums. No, is he? Because we won the Club World Cup, and he's telling these players that, oh, they don't believe in us, huh? They don't believe in us, huh? And try to flip the script and be condescending. I don't respect that. He said empty stadium this and empty stadium that. But no, when he won it, you've changed the attitude. And it's the same thing he did. I love the fact that he mentioned about, we're not in the title race. And then when he said that nobody believed in us. People didn't believe in you because you told them not to believe in you. You can say, no. It was a requirement. It was never a requirement. So when people trust what you're saying, you're going to say that, they didn't believe in us and F off because you didn't believe in us. You told them not to believe in you. You told them. I don't have short-term memory. You literally said it. I did a video. I remember the Tottenham, the ahead of the Tottenham game and the Brentford game. You kept saying that, look at Arsenal. They knew the same manager for 6 years, for almost 6 years at that time, of course. Look at Liverpool. They've been building a project for the last 7 8 years. Man City have been with the same manager for how many years? All of those stuff, and you made excuses to try to alleviate the pressure. And it's so funny. Maresca is a very conniving person. I gotta be honest, because he downplays things so that when he quote unquote defies the odds, it looks even better because nobody believed in us, and he paints the picture that we're the victims because they didn't trust us. And fine, I'll give him credit because we were definitely disrespected by ESPN FC, but to say that nobody believed in us, no one believed in us. So what? The Chelsea fans are no one now. No, but no. Oh, okay, cool. It's good to know. It's good to know. Very good to know.
Yes, Tyrone. Any other takeaway, man?
I guess another takeaway that I can probably mention is this too. Um, we need to actually get a supporting player in that midfield area. Romeo Lavia looks like his hamstrings are made out of biscuits. His body is not fit enough. Um, so it looks like we definitely need to ensure that we have all our ducks in order. If it's keeping Dario Ezugo, do that. If it's keeping Angel Santos, which may be the case, do that. But don't mess around. Don't mess around. We need that. We need as much midfielders because it's like what we said and like Bobby said when we did a show earlier. You know, Enzo Fernandez is not going to do the physical aspect. And if you don't have Caicedo, we can't be lacking that physicality. Because if we didn't have Caicedo in that final against PSG, I'm sure for a fact we'll be struggling. And that is why I'm saying another takeaway is that if we did not have Moises Caicedo fit for that final, I'm sure we would not have won. I believe we would not have won because the way in which we were able to commit players forward and trust that Caicedo would be doing the work alongside James. If anybody else was there, we would not have that level of physicality because Angel Santos is not as accustomed to the system that Maresca wants him to play. Of course, Dario Zugo is very promising, but he's still a very raw player. So it's a key takeaway for me that Caicedo, and that is why I'm happy that he got the bronze golden ball or whatever the hell that award was for being the third best player by FIFA standard in the competition. So I mean that is the last takeaway I'd have to say because we would have been very fragile in that and have frailties if it wasn't for Moises Caicedo, the Ecuadorian Kante mixed up with the Obi Mikel and the SCN combined.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. We are talking. I mean, I think most of the people talk on Sanchez, of course, for obvious reason. His role, I was talking him. I mean, of course, the man of the match was Cole Palmer, obviously, but and just see like people were saying our man of the match is Sanchez or Gusto or Caicedo. Hardly anyone mentioned Palmer, who scored 2 goals. And you know what? It's a great thing. It's a great thing. Why? Because he is that good. He's on the, I mean, in my opinion, he's on the next level or another level that we are looking at. Like, of course, Palmer is there. So who else from the other players who is the man of the match? We're not even thinking that Cole Palmer scored 2 goals, including myself. That good Cole Palmer is, of course. So Caicedo, I mean, he was rock solid. He was instrumental. He did every single thing over there, of course, with Reece James, Enzo Fernandez in a different role, and Gusto around him, and of course Cole Palmer helping when required. So, but who was the instrument? Who was the one who was making all these tackles, all the 50-50s? You know, standing there alone when Enzo Fernandez was many times, in transition or was playing up front. Reece James was trying to create 3v2 advantage with Palmer. and João Pedro on the right side. That's why we were so successful against um, Nuno Mendes. Sorry, Nuno Mendes. So we were looking, basically what I'm saying here, Tyrone. We were looking at all the actions. We were looking at the ice cream. We were looking at the final product. But who was the engine? Who was the engineer? It was Moises Caicedo, right?
Mm, mm, mm.
Does that make any sense?
Of course, it makes sense. Of course, it makes sense. Of course, it does, man. But the funny thing, I just went on to X and somebody made a very interesting point. A lot of people are downplaying this and saying that, oh, a lot of people are pretending that, oh, a win over PSG makes everything okay. Of course it does. We're not idiots. And for the people out there that are very toxic positive, saying that this proves that Maresca is the next God on the next Jesus coming onto earth, then they're idiots. But we're not going to pretend that this is not a key thing. After a season that we had, we looked embarrassing. For part of that season, we were losing to teams that typically, if you actually plan efficiently going into the season, you don't lose them in that fashion. Because I'm not saying you're going to win every match. You're going to lose games, but the way in which you lose is the problem. That is the problem. So we're not going to pretend as if things are beautiful, but it's so ironic that they're going to say that no, but when Todd Boehly and clearly Capital came in and they didn't like that we are getting American owners, they were saying that, but look at that, we will win the Club World Cup. So it's come off full circle, hasn't it? Because you're saying that everything was beautiful, but at that time, as much as I love Roman and there will never be any owner like Roman, things were not going well. We signed Lukaku, and people tend to forget this, but it was Roman, Marina Granovskaya that wanted Lukaku. Tuchel said he wanted Haaland. We didn't get Haaland. Things went south. Even Lampard wanted Haaland. We didn't get Haaland. He wanted players like Anthony Gordon. We didn't get him Anthony Gordon. All those stuff. And I'm talking Lampard, of course. Anthony Gordon was one that obviously Tuchel wanted under the Todd Boehly era. But I'm talking about Lampard. And as much as Roman came out and said that, oh, he was he's a club legend and it hurts that we had to sack him, but we had to put the club first and but I mean and did Lampard deserve the sack? That is going to be subjective to me going forward. I don't know, because he wasn't speaking lies. Everything that he said before he got sacked, he spoke the truth. He said the team is not good enough to challenge for the league for any time soon. He said it. But what happened? He was sacked because we were losing games galore. But funny enough, Tuchel was top of the league. But we were top of the league on a Lampard too. That same season when he won the Champions League before. From November, December, it was us and Tottenham trying to be top of the league for the weekend every week. That was the case. And then what happened? We fluctuated because we didn't have the depth. We started losing players. We started making mistakes. But what happened? We sacked Lampard because of that, and it's subjective, Greetings to you, Jordan Hyman, YNWA. I don't know what YNWA means, but big up to you, Jordan.
Yes, I can guess you'll never walk alone.
Well, they've left us to walk alone, to be honest.
And I should not have guessed because there's someone who would be saying, "Oh, how does he know that?" Anyway, so you see what I mean, Tyrone?
Yeah, man, I picked up on it right as you said. You should have said that. Yeah.
No, but I'll say it, man. Anyway, so if you can put the next one, so we'll talk on this.
Yeah, I think we can do this as the last thing, to just
so because you're talking about toxic positives and and this is the prime example, right? First of all, is this Enzo Maresca or Guardiola? Because with the cigar, he looks Guardiola, man, over here. Is he doing the Guardiola? Because Guardiola would always have the cigar after winning all the Premier Leagues. Anyways, so I'm all in on Enzo Maresca's tactics, said by a fan or an analyst. If he decides to play Sanchez as false nine, I'm fine with it. Okay. So either you will have this belief from certain fans, right, or toxic negatives like Minerals FC would say we'll get relegated, man. So this is the situation in our fan base. So you're right, man. Like, amazing job done. 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100, whatever you want to say against Luis Enrique. Measured very well. Way I saw it, some other analysts saw it. Enzo, because we studied Enzo Maresca, and Enzo Maresca knows himself better than I do, and you do, right, and other people. So he did what was required. It played to the strengths of his system, and I love the way the commentators ended, Tyrone. Where I was watching, they said Enzo Maresca. I hope it's the same words, or you can say I'm paraphrasing. Enzo Maresca turned Luis Enrique's strengths. Enzo Maresca turned his Luis Enrique's biggest strength into his weakness, and I love that. So yeah, winning a club World Cup is a huge achievement. Defeating PSG in a one-off game is a huge achievement, definitely. But I mean, most of the players, ex-players, analysts, fans agree that Premier League is the bread and butter, where a manager can be judged if he's at the elite level, and I hope that he will win it this year or next year. I mean, this season or this upcoming season, that is 26-27 after this one. But it won't be that straightforward. As Tyrone mentioned, that there were issues that he was talking about. I wasn't really there. I was more behind the scenes, and some other analysts were calling, and fans were like saying, "Why are you saying that?" But it was obvious. Like, we were doing great in the first half of the season. After Christmas, the form dropped significantly. We drew and lost a lot of games. In April, May, we managed to You know, we managed to. Uh, we managed to win what, five in a row, something like that, five in a row to end the season and finish it fourth. I think it was more or less the same end that we had last season, right? But last season again, I don't know.
Don't let them hear you say that. Don't let them hear you say that. You they say that, oh, what did Pochettino do? And it's so funny. It's so funny to me. People are so this is why we have to say that Chelsea Football Club is a heel club, because we can have fans that are so illogical. They'll say that, oh, it wasn't Pochettino, that it was Thiago Silva that who told him. Are you telling me that you think that Maresca just magically came up with this, and that his assistants did not tell him to do something different? Huh? Are you telling me what? Are you telling me that the Everton win, when Caballero was in the dugout, it was Maresca whispering in his ears that, oh, this is what I want you to do. Let the players do this. No, man. And it's just like what Garvan said. The assistants do a lot of work. And I know that Maresca tries a hands-on approach where he's going on, putting on the clothes, and he's training with the team, and he's trying to be unique. But let's not pretend as if his assistant is probably didn't tell him to do some stuff as well. Let's not pretend. Well, because, oh, it's Maresca and we must support Maresca. And listen, I don't hate Maresca. All right, as I said, I love Maresca. But you cannot pretend and be subjective and say that, oh, Thiago Silva told Pochettino to do this. His assistant managers or coach said literally do the same thing. Make some alterations, give players some freedom, try false nine systems, because there's no pedigree, there's no receipts to prove that Maresca would have played these players in false nine. Are you telling me that and I said it earlier, and people were pissed when I said it. Just like how it's not Maresca's fault that certain players missed, then it's not Maresca's doing that the players score goals. Then let's be consistent. Because you can't say that, oh, this player missed the chance, and did he miss the chance? Did he score the goal then? I'm not going to stop stressing that point. Did he score the goal then? I don't think he did. So let's be consistent, ladies and gentlemen. Let us be consistent. Thank you, Poggy Wadspo, for that membership donation. It's really appreciated. 7 likes, 7 people watching. I love that. Thank you guys so much. It shows that you guys are at least enjoying the little waffle, for people who say we're waffling, that we're doing. It shows that at least people agree with what we're saying.
Yeah, and it's not like being negative or trying to. I think it's as some of these skeptics, I'm talking about, would say we have to be objective. This is objectivity, that you have a balance of being positive at the same time. I mean, sometimes, and being critical at sometimes, right? If you're look, we are doing a show, right? We are not sitting at home and not on air, we can be then fan and say, okay, everything is fine, let's win. But our job over here, what I understand when once I started, Tyrone, and I would assume you would think the same, but I'm not sure. So that's why I'm saying I assume that your job is here to speak the truth, not just say that you're a fan over here. So tell the people that grass is green and the sky is blue on every show. That is the thing, right? That you can be critical. You can say, I'm seeing this issue over here, I'm seeing that we are losing games because of that reason, I'm concerned, we need to improve on that XYZ, right? or
Yeah,
the other or the other way we can take is like we will say it's a post-match party or pre-match or all-year party show, and we'll say let's celebrate, we are good, we are the best ever, and we'll win the league, we'll win the Champions League, we'll win 5 leagues in a row. So that's not my approach, right? Even he won the World Cup, I'm so happy. This is the fifth show we are doing. I know I won't have time, hopefully I'll take some time in August, and that's for we'll discuss that behind the scenes. But the thing is that it's the World Cup win that made us so excited. So winning is important, yes. Enzo Maresca, like I've been not now, so no one can say that. Before it, I did a 2 hour show, and thank God that I did that and talked in depth, not just said, "Oh, we'll win," and that's it. Hello, this is the show. Chelsea will win. Enzo Maresca is great. Thank you for tuning in. See you again. Come on, you Blues. I didn't do that. And of course, I've been praised. I'm a positive person, Darren. You know me well. I'm so happy with the win. And I know I'm giving him much more credit than maybe I should have because I want to. This is because I'm happy with the win, man. I'm getting a lot of respect when I go out. I'm a lot of people are greeting me. A lot of people in the office when I wear the shirt, when I go out for a walk, getting a lot of respect. So of course I will have to thank Enzo Maresca. I'm getting a lot of respect, a lot of happiness for the cup win from
you
my
know,
friends.
the thing is, man,
Yes, sir.
I could have always been positive, and maybe this channel would have reached to 100,000, but because I've been so objective and I haven't been butt licking and doing what other people have been doing, the channel hasn't reached probably where it could be. Because I could just because listen, I can go quickly come on and say that, oh no, we can't do that. No. Maresca is doing the best that he can. I could just come every day and just go onto every show and say that, listen, my name is Tyrone, I have a channel named Chelsea Sessions, and I believe that Maresca is the one to take us to the promised land. He could do that. He could be the one that sends us to the promised land. Don't get me wrong. He could always prove us wrong. But until he wins the Premier League, we cannot say that he is the one. A lot of people are saying that he is the one. He is the one to win us the Club World Cup. Yes, like Thomas Tuchel did. He is the one that won us a European trophy, like Maurizio Sarri did, like Roberto Di Matteo did, like Rafa Benitez did. But we can't get ahead of ourselves because what did Di Matteo do after that? Absolutely nothing. And people can say that, oh, the squad got depleted with also likes of Drogba, and because of that we dropped off. But we got the likes of Eden Hazard. We had Frank Lampard at the club. We had JT at the club. We had Aspilicueta who was at the club too. We had a whole bunch of quality players. So we know the magnitude of it all doesn't matter. And what happened too? The Champions League win overshadowed the fact that we had a very poor season for the Champions League. And what happened? We did not even stay in the Champions League. We got demoted to the Europa League. That's something that people want to forget. So that is why I'm not jumping the gun and saying that Maresca is the one, because Di Matteo was expected to do positive stuff. He was supposed to be an interim manager, and what happened? They kept him longer, but they sacked him in December, got Rafa Benitez in. And what happened? That's it. So let's not pretend as if he is the one. And I don't think there should be the one, because many clubs.
And I do have question marks, Tyrone.
Of
And I
course,
know
go on.
some people don't like that, but I do. And sincerely, it's not that I'm saying it, that I want to have question marks. Anyway, sir, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean that's just the truth. That's just the truth that God loves. But you have to question, because when you see the cracks, when you're analytical, you can't just pretend as if there's not things there. But let's want to quickly look at this too. So it says what? Phase 1. I don't know. It must be a code. Phase 1. Phase 1 Maresca. Is it
Yeah,
what is
so
this?
basically, and it's brought it up. It's interesting discussion. How you? I know we have discussed behind the scenes. We discuss on show, as well. But okay, as I was looking at some tweets, He just put it recently, I think today. So we are basically saying we are so clear. Phase one would be season one, I would say, or yeah, season one. Maresca in his first season. He should have said season one though. Like phase one doesn't make sense. Season one, Maresca 2 titles, and season six, Arteta still only 1 title. Look, I want you to give your take. I do rate Arteta a lot. At the same time, I know if you ask me, I'll say he's a failure because five. And the reason I'm saying failure, I have to be clear. Look, this is why objective, rational perspective matters. I'll say he's a failure and I'll just go away. What does that mean? Failure in terms of a team like Arsenal, which is of course a big team, right? We can make all the jokes. It's not a lower end team, right? In all reality, in all fairness. And you have a manager there who was a disciple of Guardiola for 3 years, who played for the club. You are supposed to win because I will have the same you can say measuring stick for Maresca or any other manager at Chelsea. It's what 5.5 years, right? And you did not win the big one, the Premier League and the Champions League. In that context, if I say he didn't win the Premier League and the Champions League, he's a failure. But if we see the improvement in the team, right, I think no one can deny that how the team has improved. If you go more in detail, some people are saying, "Oh, talk more, give us the facts." You want one fact? He was a runner-up with 89 points. I'm just saying this is how cruel football could be, Tyrone. You're getting it. He was a runner-up in 2023-24. Yeah, 23-24 with 89 points. And the next season, Slot won the league with 84 points. 5 less points, but Slot has a Premier League title. Arteta don't have a Premier League title. What I'm trying to say, I'm sure you're getting it, it's fine margins. If you say he didn't win the big one in 5 years, he's a failure. But how consistent he has been for the last 3 years, yes, last year was a drop off. How improved Arsenal is. So it's subjective. It's just opinion, I would say. But yes, Enzo Maresca's first season, 2 titles. But and again, if you have to be an analyst, even as a Chelsea fan, you will have to be fair. You have to say like, okay, Arteta never played a Conference League, right? So yes, first season Enzo Maresca outclassed Arteta. Arteta, in my opinion, in 5.5 years, he came short. In my opinion, he should have been sacked. He didn't win the big one. The reason he is managing Arsenal. And sorry, I went long, but there's so long. I mean, there's so much to talk and talk for 5-6 hours on this. Last thing I would say to you, Tyrone, and to all the fans who are listening, if I forget I'm a Chelsea fan, if I forget that I have any link with any club, and let's say if I'm a manager, I hope I was professional manager, and I have the chance to pick a club right now, Tyrone, right now in the summer, I have an opportunity to manage a club, right? I will take Arsenal because they are in such amazing shape. They are so well rehearsed. Most of the players know what they are doing and they have improved significantly. So it's fine margins, and you don't have to agree, and I don't even have to say that I don't know because you hardly do. But the thing is, with Arteta, he didn't win the league, and I will say he's a failure. But if I'm a manager and if I have a choice, and I'm not a Chelsea fan, to pick any team I want to manage Arsenal today. Today, I want to manage Arsenal. So, anyways, go ahead, sir. And I know you will have a lot to say with your insights, with your analysis, with your analytical mind.
But yeah, and we'll have to run off very soon because of the amount of the limitations on the streaming as well. But I just wanted to go through what Portugal loves Messi has said. That's a very interesting name, but they've said something very fascinating, and I'm assuming that they're the one that subscribed because as soon as the messages came through, I saw that the subscriber count went up. It says PSG was convinced they would win, which in this case, I understand as they had eliminated Bayern and Real Madrid and were left confused and irritated with the first 45 minutes. 100%, I agree with you. It says Cole Palmer, even when sleeping, has more class than any player of the player of that any player of the opponent. And João Pedro is starting to rock. In fact, the French league compared to the English is anecdotal. I love that word. Oh my goodness, you're not one of my best friends, man. You're one of my best friends. I love that word, anecdotal. Oh my word, it's so delicious to say. Well, PSG is a small club, you see, in the history of football, and some players, especially the coach, who has been a repeat, okay, in the league of pushing and shoving since his playing days, confirmed why. I see. And let's not forget that in a defeat to Botafogo, Donnarumma threw himself at John. You can also see class when you lose. Indeed, very much so. Now, the arrogance of thinking they were going for a walk in the park and the end they end up being run over is what is called poetic justice. I mean, is a pity we're not on that stream that we did celebrating, because I was saying that they it's like they got karmic action being done against them, because exactly what they did to Real Madrid, what they did to the likes of Inter Milan, where they pressed the living hell out of them, they they suffered the similar fate where they were felt uncomfortable. They were just forced to make mistakes, to leave that big gap in the midfield where Caicedo could just be making past to Gusto, and he could just have a picnic on that right hand side, because they were so scared. They realized that Chelsea were here to come and beast them and obliterate them and to mop the carpet floor with them. That is what they saw. So they realized that they could not do the average thing. And then that is why you saw Donnarumma have to be going long, because he recognized the fact that he could not be doing the little 1-2 passes there. Over the top passing is what they had to do, because they were so exposed. So exposed. They were being harassed. They got taken to church and back. They were placed on their knees to pray that they could get some easing up on them.
Yeah, perhaps he got disconnected or issues with the Wi-Fi. So yeah, Portugal live. Messi, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your messages. Football teaches lessons to those who think they are above the word humility. The true football fans are happy for that. Yes, that is correct. The price of being arrogant. I completely agree with you over there. Definitely, it makes a lot of sense. So, any other takeaway, guys, like you would like to share in the chat? Don't forget to like, subscribe, share it with your family and friends. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. Tyrone is back, sir. Tyrone is back. So, yeah, we can wrap in the next 5 minutes. Anything you would like to say? I mean, this is just one. I'm sure Enzo Maresca would end up being better than Arteta. But how do you interpret it? Like Enzo Maresca won two titles, including the Conference League. Arteta has won FA Cup and has been very competitive, apart from last season, scoring high 80s, mid 80s. How do you see that? Like,
I mean, it's like we've said, the thing is, Arteta, Arteta has been one where it's so iffy, and it's like we've said, he reminds me so much of Pochettino, where he can get a team so close, but yet so far from just completing that task, and that's the concerning part. I don't understand how you can have a free run at a chance and at winning the league, and then he bottled it on the last three matches to City. They had a chance against but Liverpool posed, because if you look at it, looking at the massive drop off, the league that Arsenal bottled, the margin was so large, uh, not was so small, I should say. But then you could see when last season Liverpool won the league, but it was not even by the same figure. So you could see that. But one of the reasons why Liverpool didn't win the league was because City were just always grinding out results. But what happened? City fell off, and Liverpool were losing games, but they still won the league because Arsenal just fell off massively. So it's similar to what Portugal loves Messi says. I love that name, I swear. Um, uh, if Arsenal do bring Gyökeres and Eze, it should be a game changer. Will it be a double game changer? I would like to think that that's what they believe, but I'm not gonna be surprised if it doesn't happen. But it's a make or break. You can't be at a club for so long, and you keep not being able to put them over the finish line and expect to keep your job. I would never say. I've never been a person that like to say I want to see a manager or anybody lose their job. But realistically, if you're not delivering in your job, then sure you're gonna get fired or you're gonna be let go. So that is gonna be the case. So I find it strange. He's been able to get them to compete, but competing is not what they want to do. They've not won the Premier League in literally, and I'm probably going to give away my age, since I've been alive. That is how long it has been. I've been alive for 2 decades, and they've still not won it. So you can imagine how painful that is for them. And I'd love to, and I'd not like it to be that we're in that same boat where we don't win it for a whole decade, because we're getting close. So if we don't do it next season, or the season after that, then that's going to be 10 years. So you know that it's scary for Chelsea as well. So you can laugh at Arsenal all we want, but we're in the same boat where it could almost be a decade since we've last won the Premier League. And if things go so for City, we never know. Man United could be awarded the Premier League. We have to see what happens, because all of that has been.
Shout out to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Nice guy, by the way. I like him as a person. So, and you know what I think and feel about United, but I like Ole Gunnar. So, one follow-up question, which I gave my opinion, so I want to ask you the same, and then your final thoughts, of course, as we have to end the stream now. If you were not a Chelsea fan and if you were a professional manager, would you happily go and manage Arsenal where they are right now? And then your final thoughts on this stream, or anything you want to say.
That's a very. If I was a manager, I know I'd be very confident in my capabilities, so I wouldn't shy away from Arsenal. And I think that Arsenal have done a good job of creating a squad that is not a team, but are just players. That's what I have to say. They're not a team; they're players. That's the thing. And the same thing could be said about the way that Chelsea have been playing as well. That it's not a team; it is actually just individuals that have brilliance. That is just what it is, and that's scary, because don't let us not be fooled. One of the massive downfalls of actually having young players being the heart and soul of the team is that it can easily let what they've done by winning the Club World Cup get to their heads and say that, oh, I played a part in this. And then we have the same situation with Madueke, where Madueke believes that, and even now they will have a right to believe that they've done, because they've actually done it for Chelsea. They've helped them win a trophy. So let's not be too cocky or oblivious to the fact that young players could also start to think that, okay, I'm not going to pass the ball because I have done something at Chelsea. I've proven my worth. I'm going to get a bonus of a 350,000 a man and all of that. That is the situation that we could actually see happen. So, if I was a manager, I wouldn't shy away from going to Arsenal, because the squad is very good. If they get Gyökeres, as Portugal loves football has said, or Eze, because Eze is a quality player. I'm surprised Chelsea didn't go for him, but I guess because his numbers, they look fancy to them or flashy. We want to sign players who have scored 5 goals and has only 2 assists, and not players who are at Crystal Palace for years has been proven that he's worth keeping an eye on, or Mateta. But I would definitely go to Arsenal if I was a manager, because I think right now is the best time. The foundation is there, so I believe it's similar to what Slot did, because Liverpool had the club for so long. The foundation was there, and I don't think he really needed to do much. Rather than, when I say much, I don't want to be taking anything away from how defensively solid he made them, because we know that on the German managers, they like to take a risk, high line, risk, attack, and run with fast paced players. We know that that's what they love to do, or most of them love to do that. So I think it would be an easier job. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but it'd be an easier job rather than me building it, or doing what Arteta had to do by building slowly but surely, the squad. So I think I would go, because just focus on the foundation. Because the foundation is there. I just think that they need a real kick up the backside to actually do better, and find ways of strategically not getting complacent, always, and having that Conte belief of, and this is why I love Conte. Remember when Tottenham were in a run and funny enough Pochettino was there, he said to them, that he said to Chelsea, that is, that let us believe that Tottenham Hotspurs, who needed four wins and 2 draws to keep it until the last day, let us believe that they will win all those matches. And the team played like their life depended on it. And that is why against West Brom, we did what needed to be done. And at the end of the season, what happened? They won 3 matches, they lost 1, and they draw 2. And that was the deciding moment. And then everything went, and they jumped from being second to finishing 3rd, I think, or something like that. If not 3rd, I know 4th. I know they finished in the top 4 that season, but they fell off massively. And it was 2 years on the boat of Pochettino, Leicester City winning it, and Chelsea playing a hand in that. But I generally think that Arsenal, I'd go to Arsenal if I was a manager, because I would believe in my skills, my analytical thing, because I've been watching Arsenal matches, not all of them, but I can see where the problem is, and I already stated it. Let us build a team, not players who are in a squad, but a team that works together, that knows that we're in this together, and that we've done our best to deliver. But we just need to just get over the final line and not get complacent. That's what I have to say.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you for this great show, for this 5th historic episode in 51 hours. Yeah, I think we have covered a lot. And from my side, thank you to everyone who tuned in. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, do all the things that are supposed to be done. Give your views. Watch it later. Watch it whenever you have time, on the weekend, working at the gym, having a great coffee, walking in the park, talking to your loved ones. Tell us where we can improve. What do you want to see in the future? So my final words is that enjoy. This is the time to enjoy, celebrate. Enjoy the vibes, enjoy working, enjoy walking, enjoy sleeping, enjoy doing everything. Be a better person, be nice and friendly and respectful to everyone. And I'm loving it. I'm loving the feeling of winning the World Cup. I want all the fans to enjoy this whole month and even beyond that. So, Tyrone, your final words, sir.
Yeah, and I just want to acknowledge this. I mean, yeah. Big up to you, Portugal loves Messi, and thank you for subscribing. But I just want to acknowledge what Portugal loves Messi said here. I just love that name. To be honest, I mean, and I don't want anybody. Next thing they may say I'm not a Chelsea fan, I'm a Liverpool fan if I say this. But hey, I'm gonna say it. I'm a football fan, and there's many teams that have lost former players, or have lost players that they've never even touched that the league title that their team is competing in. But because of what Jota did for Liverpool, the type of person that he was off the pitch, because he's not just a footballer, he was a father and all of that. It would be lovely, for them to be able to dedicate, the title. And the fact that they've already done a massive thing by retiring that number 20 shirt for him, for helping them win the 20th. Come on, man. It shows that, when they say you never walk alone, they mean that you never walk alone, because the support, the respect that they've done, because they didn't have to do it. They didn't have to do it because they're not obligated to. They've had thousands of players come through and go out the door, but they decided that, you know what, Jota, it's so poetic, 2020, he won number 20, he was your number 20, all those stuff really mattered to them. So of course we can't pretend as if it wouldn't be beautiful and poetic. That's what football is about. It's about the poetry. And as Portugal Los Messi said, that is poetry. Football where you're humbled, you get taught humility. And Jota epitomized that. So I mean, if it happened, I wouldn't be too upset, because for the circumstances, and it'll be good to see them, be able to dedicate it to him, the season after. But I mean, as a Chelsea fan, I would not love to see that happen. But if it happens, I wouldn't be too upset, because I know that they'll do something special for Jota. But hey, you never know. Somebody might say I'm a Liverpool fan by under disguise, You never know, but who cares, man? Oh, look at that. Look at that too. And they will pay all salaries in the contract he's coming. Absolutely. Yeah. Yes, Jota should be the first team in Portugal squad, but he never made bad face starting from the bench. Yeah, man. And that's the thing. He never heard anything that he was complaining, and it's so gutting that for the last season that he had there at Liverpool, he was injury ridden. He got injuries a lot. He couldn't play as much games as he wanted. Of course, he had medical issues as well. All those stuff is unfortunate. The story will never not be sad to me. And it's just gutting, and I already said it. I told Jerry, I told everybody that, it was similar to what a lot of people said, just waking up and the first thing you see is somebody making a video saying rest in peace, Jota, or the news from Live Score or whatever the news source you get your news from about football. Rest in peace, Jota and Andrea Silva. I was saying, what? So it really is sad, man. And it just showed that, the fact that even women athletes, sports individuals, sports women, they came out and said that Jota wasn't just a person, and he did stuff that he didn't need to do. It really shows that the family lost a true and genuine person. It's really sad, to get married and then for all of that to happen. It's really gutting. It still pains my heart, to think about it, and to think about the kids. They're so young and they barely got to see him in the first place, and at a young age like that, the memories that they'll have is going to be limited by itself. So anyways, I don't want to continue because it's going to make me emotional all over again. But thank you so much, Jerry, for tuning in. Thank you for everybody that tuned in, and thank you very much, Portugal Loves Messi, for interacting with the stream. Massive love to you. Have a good one, and I don't know if you have any last words, Jerry, but thank you very much. Portugal Loves Messi, Garva, and everybody who was locked in before.
Thank you, Tyrone. Thank you so much, man. It's been, I think this is the first time in a year that I took this much time to do the shows, and thank you for the trust, for the honor, and thank you for having me, man. Really enjoyed that, and we'll see what the future holds. We'll see our schedules, and thank you again to all the fans, to all the Chelsea fans. Please like, subscribe. Takes a second or two. Share it with your family and friends. And once again, thank you, Tyrone. Come on, you Blues.
Indeed. And I have to say this one last time. And to conclude the stream, it has to be this as well. It has to be this as well. Just remember, guys, for all the rival fans out there, the Club World Cup was Chelsea's before it can ever be yours. Stay safe, guys, and peace.